Hello, and welcome to the Modern Dog Trainer podcast, hosted by myself, Ines McNeil, founder of themoderndogtrainer.net, where you'll find articles, downloads, courses, and coaching on the best practices for modern pet businesses. Be sure to add this podcast to your favorite listening list on Spotify or iTunes, and join our free discussion group on Facebook called Business Support by the Modern Dog Trainer. All right, welcome to the Modern Dog Trainer podcast. I'm really looking forward to talking to our guest today, Richard Gonzalez, and I'm going to let him introduce himself because he can do a much better job than I can. So go ahead.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me today. I really appreciate you having me, and just being able to talk dogs, really big passion of mine, and talking about business and how I get involved. So thank you so much for that opportunity. I'm Richard Gonzalez. For those that don't know me, I am the face of the domesticated dog. You can find myself on Instagram and a whole bunch of other platforms. But really, before I was an advocate in our community, I was a Marine for 12 years, and I was a two-man assault team. So I did various deployments to combat theaters throughout my career as a Marine. And I ended up being wounded in combat, and actually pretty badly wounded, where I had to go through medical recovery for about 3+ years. Wow. After being wounded, I got in touch with a service dog organization where ultimately I would learn about force-free training and how we taught our dogs, as well as how it could apply to myself in my everyday life, and essentially reintegrating back into the community. So that's how I got involved in dog training. But I'm a graduate of Karen Pryor Academy. I am a CPDT KA, AKC CGC evaluator, puppy start right instructor through Karen Pryor. I went through the Petco dog trainer instructor program. I am also, I did work with a shelter with which was called the A-Team, and we really did kind of like the assessments on the dogs that were coming in that were suffering from reactivity and aggression. And also, I was an instructor or an evaluator and advisor within our service dog program.
Awesome.
And a University of Washington applied animal behavior graduate. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that's a little important too.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Very exciting. So speaking of all of those certifications and all of that education you've sought out, maybe that's a good place to start. What I want to ask you is, why did you pursue all of those certifications, programs, and why were they important to you?
Yeah, I think that's a great question. And actually, I get that question a lot. In our industry where it is not regulated, as a Marine, I am taking those morals and work ethics out into the civilian world. I found it really important to establish myself and to really set the standard. And so in our community, I know a lot of professionals are just amazing at continuing education. We pride ourselves on that, as well as being certified. And so in a industry where it is non-regulated, anybody can say whatever they want. They're a I've heard psychologist, behavioralist. Yeah. It's crazy. And it really hurts our industry. So I wanted to get out there and just go, how can I be different? And the way I was able to do that and really set the standard for myself, as well as other professionals who may be looking to get into this industry, is to be educated.
Mm-hmm. No, I love that. I think it's really important. Kind of along the same lines, but maybe a little bit different. You are on Dogly. And yes. I'm still getting familiar with that platform. Can you tell me a little bit about what that is, and how did you come about using it for your services?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really glad you asked that. Dogly is I'm new to Dogly's platform, but I've really been vetting a lot of these different platforms that offer, I guess, similar services. And what really resonated with me in Dogly was that it's a community where all the professionals are vetted, either certified in their specialty. So you have nutritionists, you have trainers, and I do believe we have a veterinarian that is on there as well. But you have a whole bunch of these professionals, and each one of them have their own individual communities where their following can also interact with them on a more intimate engagement level. And they are able to post, essentially whatever they want and kind of tailor their community to what tailor their community to what their audience wants. And as well as, so when someone comes to Dogly, they actually not only, like, let's just say someone comes to the domesticated dog community. So they sign up with me, and it's just a subscription base, and there's tier levels as well. But what happens is not only are they provided my content and all my creation, but all the other professionals on the platform as well. So for me, I think how beneficial it is for people that gravitate towards me. I get to go, hey, not only can you get your training questions answered from me, but we have nutritionists on here, we have a veterinarian on here, and other trainers. So maybe if I'm not able to explain it to you, but you really like my personality, you really like what I do, you also have other trainers in there that have maybe taught it where something, a behavior that maybe is easier for you to understand there. And we all work together, as well as there is a store that provides, enrichment toys, treats, things like that, that are all brought in by small businesses and have been vetted by Dogly's platform to be really good for our clients that join Dogly.
Nice. And how do they go about vetting? I mean, obviously trainers, that is pretty challenging, and all of the certifying organizations do their best to do that as well. Absolutely. So what do you think they look for?
Definitely certifications. I mean, that's obviously how we do, as well as continuing educations as well, making sure that these people are certified, these professionals are certified, as well as they're maintaining what we in the industry are considering humane training, force-free, Lima, things like that. And then obviously their social media presence as well. You get to see how somebody works. They may say they have this, but are they actually doing these type of methods, and how do they conduct themselves and things like that? So I know that I was on social media for a little bit before I got approached, and we talked for several months, and I was just kind of seeing if that was something for me, but I just couldn't get past. I couldn't I was like, man, this is such a great opportunity to be able to work with a whole bunch of other professionals that share my profession, and I know we all have the same, similar philosophies and same certifications. What's the saying? Steel sharpens steel. So I think that's the saying. But yeah, so I was like, this is an amazing opportunity, and I wanted to be a part of it.
That's awesome. Yeah. Who is the Dogly community for? Obviously, there's a lot of dog professionals on there. Is there a lot of interprofessional collaboration, or is it really focused on dog owners?
So I would say it's for pet parents, pet parents of all kinds. And it's just a safe place for them to go and know that the information they're going to be getting, it may not all sound, exactly the same, because, every professional is different, and, backgrounds are different, and education paths are different, but it's going to all be within the same methodologies and philosophies. So really the pet parent is who I would say Dogly is for. But yes, there is, tons of collaborations amongst the professionals in there as well. And it's just a huge network of just awesome professionals that are hey, we want to help. So it's a place where you can just go and kind of not have to worry about like, oh, are they, like you don't have the worrying's taken out for you.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what I think.
That's awesome. Very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. So speaking of communities, and safe spaces, one that is really new and up and coming is Clubhouse. And I know you have, you have really dove into that platform. And so I would love to know, like, what do you think of this new platform and how are you going to use it kind of to grow your business and furthermore, like pursue your mission?
Yeah. Like, so it's quite funny. I started my Instagram about 10 and a half months ago. It was after a 1.5 year long hiatus from social media. I just was struggling. I'm almost at 3,000 followers now within like 11 months. Yeah. All organic, like not ads, just putting in the work every day, creating, engaging. I feel I have, really good engagement. But I always struggled with doing lives. I'm still new to this, talking to a camera or, doing this podcast and visual and audio. Like, I'm just like, I have a traumatic brain injury, so I stumble on words. But then here comes Clubhouse, and I had some professionals in the industry reach out to me. And right now it's in beta. It's invite only, as well as it's only Apple products. And basically, how I would describe it is that it is a professional platform where people in your industry get together and can host what's called a room. And this room is essentially like if it's a virtual conference, I would say, and it has a feel of like a conference call, but you have what they call a stage. And so you have some moderators up there. So let's just say you and I, we started a room and it was, let's get down to business, dog training, right? And we were talking about how to be a professional, dog trainer. Mm-hmm. So you and I are the moderators, and we have an audience. And so the room is open to anybody. Anybody can come in and join. So sometimes you have I've been in rooms that have like 5,000 people in it.
Wow.
And then, I've been in rooms that have 100 people, less as well. And the people in the room that are not essentially the moderators are the audience, and you can bring them up to the stage and they can go ahead and ask you any questions. So It is like amazing that you are able to go ahead and get access to people you may not have, in your circle. Mm-hmm. And I get to know what pet parents are asking right now. Right. Yeah. Especially with the pandemic happening, everybody bringing all these puppies, all these pandemic puppies. There's a lot of people right now that are going, what do I do? Right. And so real time questions, real social, like that's what I love about it. And I get to bring these people up. They get to know who I am. I get to talk about our industry as well as why I choose the methodologies that I use. And really do what I'm here to do. And that is to help the pet parent understand how to bring essentially a dog into our life and help them live in captivity successfully with us as best they can so that everybody's successful.
Yeah.
So Clubhouse, it doesn't get recorded. It can't get transcribed. There's really rules in place that are meant so that no belittling, trolling, things like that. So I've met people even on the balance side where obviously we have different methodologies and views, but just connecting with them, hearing, we've been in the same rooms together. And I just think it's a really cool platform. And I think it's going to really help our community because we're able to get a whole bunch of professionals, whereas Instagram, we may be able to post and it's sporadic, but we can actually like set up a time, date, place and going, hey, today we're going to I was on, I moderated a room with Laura Nativo and a whole bunch of other really amazing professionals on Dog Trainer Tip Tuesday. And there was 5 of us on the panel just taking in these amazing questions from pet parents.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, this is what I love.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. And that really mimics kind of like a live experience you would get in person. And it's different than, it's all audio, right? So it's different than a group Zoom call where, you're seeing everybody's faces. I feel like the fact that it's just audio often makes everybody a little bit more comfortable.
Absolutely.
So that's really, really cool. I'm definitely going to make a commitment to jump in there more often.
Nice.
That's awesome. I'm excited to see how that evolves, especially in how it impacts the dog training industry. We're going to rewind and go back to Instagram a little bit because you've seen an enormous amount of growth. Obviously, I came across you on Instagram as well. And so how have you used Instagram to grow your business and your impact ultimately?
Yeah. Instagram is my favorite place. Before Clubhouse. I love Instagram. I think that it's for me, I think it's harder to grow on Instagram organically. Like I see people that get on TikTok, like I did an experiment. And I've been hitting TikTok so hard and I was like at 400 followers and I'm putting out like some funny stuff, right? Following trends and everything. And I told my girlfriend, I said, hey, babe, come here real quick. Like, let's just try something. I just pick a random song, dance for like 5 seconds, literally 1,000 likes, 600 follows. I was like, I didn't get it. And then I see a lot of other people on like TikTok, 500,000 followers. And I'm just like, I don't understand the algorithms. But Instagram, like I love Instagram because of just how I'm able to access my community. Like I have lives, I have the reels now. I have, I can post in my to my feed or my story. And a lot of people don't know this, but I do have a visual communications degree. So I do, understand colors and how they affect people, as well as like text or fonts and things like that. And just kind of being in that space where I get to be creative and artsy, as well as relevant with the community I'm trying to engage with. And that's, dog parents, dog professionals, aspiring dog professionals. And so I struggled with Instagram at first, kind of not knowing what I wanted to do, where I wanted to go, how I wanted to do this. And I really had to sit down and go, okay, what's my goal?
I was going to ask you, that was one of my questions coming
up. Yeah. What's my goal? How do I want to communicate this? And then, and so that was really where I started. And once I just started kind of being real and started not being so self-conscious of messing up my grammar and things like that, things got so much easier for me.
Yeah. When you kind of let go of the perfectionist stuff. And that's everybody struggles with that, especially when they're first getting started. They want to look professional and everything, and then you just gotta let it go and do your thing. Okay, so let's take a look at what are you hoping to accomplish through your work as you take kind of your brand forward? What does that look like for you?
I really love that question. For me, I am, I could train dogs all day long. It's what I love. But obviously we also know that majority of that's really training, educating the pet parent. The dogs are the easy part. I want to really be an advocate in our industry, an advocate for pet parents, and a resource for pet professionals. And I'm not the end all be all, but that's what I'm trying to strive to be, in the fact of thinking outside the box. Like, you can be edgy, you can be, hip, and, you can dance, and you can have a personality, you can be real. Like, you don't need to be so professional that, it just looks so, formatted, robotic. Like, I think that's why a lot of people are gravitating towards me, because I'm a little impulsive. I had a head injury as well. So I'm impulsive. I am kind of, younger. I am a male Marine. So here's this Marine that's, known for precision, discipline, all this stuff, and toughness. And I'm over here dancing with my dogs and, like, I don't care if it's not a perfect heel, like, forget all that stuff. Like, I want people to enjoy work, educating their dogs, living with their dogs, having fun. Like I just started this actually. So I got into a bit of a discussion over on some platforms about a recall that happened, and everybody's like, "That's not a," all the people on the other side were like, "That's not a recall." And my dog came from an acre and a half away, so to me, I was all right with that. But it really, then I started thinking about it, and people say that recalls can't happen without force and punishment. And I literally just got this mind. I was like, hey, let's show all our force-free recalls.
Yeah.
I got hundreds of videos.
Yeah.
I got cheetahs, chickens, cows, goats, birds. I mean, cats. Yeah. I mean, it was just insane. All the amazing recalls. And I was like, that's what I want. I want people to have fun. I don't want people to worry about, oh my gosh, this doesn't look like so-and-so's recall, heel, whatever. Be happy with be happy and enjoy the journey and show off. Mm-hmm. Show off where you're at. Like, that's what I want.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Really, just as you were saying that, I was reminded of something I did a few years ago where I made a video reel of a bunch of trainers showing off their, I think it was a recall or a stay or something like that. And so I'm gonna have to dig that up and send it to you. But that was so much fun. And it's really something that we almost take for granted. And we do need to take the time to show it off, because that is what clients need to see in order to see, what's possible for themselves and their dogs if they put in the work and they commit to the process. So that's really cool.
And I think you really said something really valuable right there. Yeah. Is a lot of people don't, they, and this, this day and age, a lot of instant gratification, mm-hmm. right? And then you have, dog trainers that want to tailor to that instant gratification. And I think that does a disservice to whatever training philosophy you subscribe to.
Right.
So I also want to get realistic expectations out there.
Yeah.
I've trained cats, fish, goats, chicken, horses. And I'll tell you, like, it's not about the instant gratification. It's about learning about yourself through the process. It's about watching the process work. It's mm-hmm. about your learner learning and having a more enriching life. Like, boom, like, to me, like, that's why I do it.
Yeah. And even, now that you're saying it like that, like, I am watching my daughter grow up, and it's not like, obviously the vision I have for her is I want her to be successful and, be a great independent adult. But the process is ultimately equally as satisfying and enjoyable to just watch her learn something new and like see the joy in it and like realizing, what's happened. And like, that is so amazing to watch. So to take the time to appreciate like watching your dog learn things is really neat. Yeah. And I don't think that's something that your human clients really realize is going to happen. So that's a good point. Let's see. What is one tip you wish you had known when you were first starting out?
Ooh. So one, I didn't know that I was going to actually be taking this journey. It was around late 2009, early 2010, when I got introduced to my service dog organization, who would ultimately teach me about force-free methods and introduce me to some amazing instructors through our community. That now I'm like, oh my gosh, like, they came to me and I didn't even know who they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, and I essentially, the reason how I got into it was learning about how to break down behaviors for our dogs to do the same for me to help with my mental health. So once I really bought on and said, I think I want to do this for a career, because it's really a hard transition from the military to civilian life.
Yeah.
I would have said, one, be kind to yourself. You don't have to be perfect. You know, and I think the second one is, you know, well, even to just kind of go back to that first one, it's really, no matter how much education I obtained, I still kind of suffered from imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
And, you know, because we are in an industry that's unregulated. So, you know, essentially magazines could put out whatever they want, you know, all these publications, you know, TV shows can do whatever they want. And here I am learning this stuff. And I'm like, but I'm fighting such a big, force of kind of not being checked, or, they're not being verified. So there I have all this people kind of like, no, that's not what, this publication said, or this TV show does.
Yeah.
And so like, I was like, I feel defeated. I'm just like, why would I do this? Like, what am I doing? Like, I don't know. And here I am, already 3-4 certifications deep now.
Yeah.
And I was just like, so I would definitely tell myself, have confidence, be true to yourself, and be kind. And, you're not gonna help everybody, but the ones you're gonna help, you're gonna make an impact.
Yes, absolutely. Wow, that is so true. I've had actually recently had a student sign up for my program to grow her dog training business, but she worked with me as a dog owner and me as a dog trainer several years ago. And so it's just incredible to see that transformation and that growth, and to have worked with her back when she was struggling with her own dog, and now she's doing her own thing with her own business. It's really incredible. So yeah, you absolutely will have an amazing impact on people, even when you don't realize it. So what are some common mistakes that you want to help new dog trainers kind of avoid?
One, I would say getting into everything. Mm-hmm. Trying to spread yourself so thin. Really find what it is. Find a problem, whether it's in your community that's lacking within maybe the dog training environment within your area, or what area you're going to service, and then find out how to find a solution for that. So for me, that was when I'm working with clients, a lot of my clients are business owners. And so I look at, the type of lifestyle a business owner lives. And then I find out, okay, so they have all these great aspirations to, have these really sometimes high drive dogs, and they're running 3 businesses. And I'm just like, it's not really going to be effective. So I try, then I kind of look at, okay, so how can I make them be effective and have them feel successful, as well as their animal live successfully, and both of them live harmoniously. And so I find how to do that with each individual client. And then I, give them, present them the plan as well. And then we go from there. And obviously education through that whole process, because at the end of the day, I'm with education, I hope that they understand that their life is going to probably have to change, for some of this stuff, but that again, through education. Yeah.
That's awesome. And that's so true. As far as like kind of finding your, we'll call it a specialty, but something that makes you unique and something that you really love doing is important. Yeah. If there was one thing, I have an idea of what you might be answering to this question. If there's one thing you could change or improve in the industry, what would that be?
Regulation.
Yeah.
And that would be regulation on what is humane, training, equipment, tools, etc. and as well as certifications, like having a full standard, like all that kind of falls under regulation. I would have all that. I'm a huge advocate. My big kind of mantra is be an advocate, train humane. And it doesn't, be an advocate. An advocate is not an easy job. I'm not trying to walk, kind of tiptoe around. Like, animals have saved my life. They've taught me how to reintegrate and live again when, after being, shot 5 times and losing over 33 Marines in combat and over 560 wounded in action. Wow. So I find a real passion to really advocate for these animals that, I watch on TikTok and everybody's doing these like bop it, zoom it, pop, and I'm just like, there's so much body language going on, or, or people are doing things to the animals, and, or trainers, people that are training. I don't know if I consider them trainers,
right?
And again, not certified professionals, but just putting out just so much misinformation. So regulation is definitely something that I would ask for. And I honestly, I want to be able to start getting to that level where I start, approaching, government officials about that stuff, because, through the University of Washington, I did, take some courses where it was about like being a court expert on, animal behavior and things like that. Or, we did touch in on some of that. So, I mean, I do think that I do have, education to be able to talk intelligently, efficiently, appropriately, to hopefully find somebody one day, especially with my military background, to just listen and saying, hey, I think this is why we need regulation.
No, I love that. And I will say you are not the first guest in this season to say that. So it's definitely coming down the pipeline, but there's a lot to wrangle to get there. Yeah, but no, I love it. Thank you so much for joining me today. I think it was really valuable for all of us to learn from you. If somebody wants to follow you, learn more about you, where can they go?
All right. So like I'm literally, my printing guy's going, okay, what social media now? Like, I'm on Facebook, The Domesticated Dog, Instagram, The Domesticated Dog. I'm on Twitter at Domesticated Dog. I am on TikTok at The Domesticated Dog, and Clubhouse now at The Domesticated Dog. And everybody can reach me at my email at rgonzalez at thedomesticateddog.com as well.
Awesome.
And Dogly at The Domesticated Dog. So,
awesome. At least you're consistent. That's good.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me today.
I really appreciate it. It was so much fun. And I love this. And thanks for giving professionals a platform to be able to speak. And because we need more places where we, us as professionals can reference to, future pet parents, future pet professionals. I love what you do in your business and guiding, professionals and even pet parents, but professionals to helping be more effective in our industry.
Yeah, that is a very important cause to me for sure. Thank you for listening to the Modern Dog Trainer podcast. If you'd like to learn more and participate in our wonderful community online on Facebook, please join our Business Support by the Modern Dog Trainer Facebook group, where we have loads of free trainings, freebies, downloads, and wonderful conversations. If you'd like to learn more about working with me, the Modern Dog Trainer Academy is currently open for enrollment. In this program, I help great dog trainers build sustainable and profitable six-figure businesses. If this sounds like a program that you might find interesting, head on over to Facebook and send me a private message with the phrase six-figure trainer, and let's talk about whether this program would make sense for you. And as always, you can find loads of free resources, articles, blogs, handouts, and ebooks on my website at themoderndogtrainer.net. See you in the next episode.